The number of women in senior positions also remains stubbornly low, with only 4 countries in the world having equal numbers of male and female legislators, senior officials and managers, despite the fact that 95 countries now have as many, if not more, women educated at university level. So given this glacial rate of progress towards gender parity, it's not surprising that some countries have resorted to regulatory intervention to try and speed up the closing of gender gaps. For example, around 45 countries from Iceland to India to Rwanda have introduced gender quotas for seats in parliament, and a growing number of countries like France, Norway and Sweden have quotas for women on boards. There is a lot of controversy, of course, around quotas, but the argument in favour of them is that they bring women's voices into political systems where they are otherwise excluded, shortcutting a process that would naturally take generations. Now, many critics of quotas who are concerned about their one-size-fits-all approach are more inclined to support regulatory disclosure requirements as a way of enhancing transparency and accountability. So, for example, UK companies with more than 250 employees will have to disclose gender pay gaps by 2018, and countries like Australia and Hong Kong require listed companies to explain their board diversity policy or why they don't have one. But at the end of the day, it's really the business case for greater gender equality that is prompting regulatory intervention. For Asia, the economic imperative of closing the gender gap is shown by estimates that it could add as much as $520 billion to Japan's GDP, or $2.5 trillion to China's GDP by 2020. So it's not surprising really that policymakers and stakeholders are doubling down on efforts to accelerate gender equality given this. Well, in Hong Kong, there are still 12 Hang Seng Index companies with all male boards. Women make up just 12% of all listed company directors, and almost 40% of listed issuers have no women on their boards at all. And there's been very little improvement in the past 5 years. So given these statistics, we think 30% is actually quite a good start. 30% of women on a board also roughly represents 3 women directors per board. And there's a lot of research showing that having at least 3 women on a board is the critical tipping point for companies to really reap the benefits of gender diversity. When the discussion is richer, decision making is more effective, management is more innovative and collaborative, and the organisation is just stronger. But of course, we hope the day will come when we have to change our name because the 30% mark has been surpassed.